Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gaura Premanandi, Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivacharya, Astottara Shri Shrimadi's Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, the Holy Appearance Day of Shri Balarama Ki, Shri Balarama Ki, Shri Balaram Jayanti Ki, Jai Gaura Premanandi. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to today's very, very holy and auspicious day. How many of you saw the full moon this morning? Day, Shravana, the month of Shravana. So he was born. And actually today is supposed to be, this is the second moon this month, full moon day. Yeah. Pardon? Oh wow. Yeah, so it's a very auspicious day. So who's Balaram? Well, we don't have actually a deity of Balaram, but we have Lord Nityananda, who's also Balaram. In that form, he's on the extreme left altar, he's the leftmost deity. I think he has honey with him. Somebody must have given him some honey. Looks like it, yeah. So he is the first expansion. Now, in terms of the Supreme Lord, they have this ability to expand. They can create from themselves another person just like them, and they have no problems with that. Yeah? We will have a lot of problems. Most we could do is do some cloning, but then again we are not sure how the clones turn out, So, and Krishna is who none other than Swayam Bhagavan, which means he's the original person, the original first person who always there, is always will be, and there's no other way it's going to be. That's how it is. And they all live in the place called Vrindavan. And Krishna is the son of Maharaj Nanda, and so is Balaram. Taddanam Vrindavanam. They all live in Vrindavan Dham, the holy place of Vrindavan, like that. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj says Lord Balaram is non-different from Krishna. There's no difference. Balaram is the first expansion. He's the first spontaneous expansion. Just like that, he comes out of Krishna and says, I want to serve Krishna. So, Balaram just wants to serve Krishna, nothing else. I'm so happy serving Krishna. So if you want to know how you're making advancement in Krishna consciousness, you should feel happy just to do service. The more service you get, the more happy you are. So because you're getting the mercy of Lord Balaram. Like that. So Krishna is the origin and Balaram is an expansion. So we need to make that distinction. And there's a famous verse that the Acharyas quote from Brahma Samhita, and I think some of you know that. Deeparchireva hita santaramabhyupetya Deepayate vivrita hetu samana dharma Yastadrikeva hi chavishnutaya vibhati Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. It is said there's a candle, the original candle that is lit. And there may be similar candles, but the first candle that is lit can be used to light up all the other candles. And then they all have the same potency, the same candle power. But that was originally the first candle. So Krishna and his expansions are actually non-different from Krishna. They're just like Krishna. Only thing is, functionally, they may not do everything Krishna does. But otherwise, they are the same. The Supreme Personality Godhead is the same person. So that's how we can understand Krishna and his expansions are all the same. They may behave in a different way functionally, but they have similar potencies. They all have the same potency. So in terms of bodily features also, Balaram and Krishna, they have no difference. They look identical. Only difference is Balaram is whitish. In some places they say crystal-like. Wow. And then Krishna is darkish or bluish complexion, like that. So Balaram loves Krishna so much so that he wears a blue dhoti, to say that he really loves Krishna. So Krishna is bluish in color, so he wears blue dhoti. And Krishna wears yellow dhoti, meaning? Yeah, he loves Radharani a lot, and she is dear to him, so therefore he wears yellow dhotis. That's how some of the acharyas explain, and I think that's very nice and funny also at the same time. Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations, all expansions, and from him comes so many expansions. But again, as I emphasized, the first person is Balaram. And so every other expansion actually is coming from Balaram after that, because Krishna just wants to enjoy. He's Supreme Lord. He just wants to enjoy. Balaram, you take care of everything else. So Balaram just does that, and he makes sure that Krishna can enjoy. Yeah? But once in a while, both Krishna and Balaram decide to come to the earthly planets, just to do some pastime, just to enjoy with his devotees. He misses the devotees, and he wants to have that loving reciprocation in these earthly planets, and so they come down, just to give that association, just to make us feel the attraction. If Krishna and his avatars don't come, then we won't be attracted to the spiritual world. Already we are so bewildered by the material energy, it's so hard to, come on a Sunday morning and see Krishna. So just imagine, so therefore he comes in his avatar. And he said the Balaram is so beautiful. One of his features is so beautiful and so attractive. So just imagine Krishna is supposed to be more beautiful than Balaram. So just imagine. Fascinating, isn't it, when we think about it? It's so superlative sometimes, How is that possible, So Krishna considers Balaram his second body. They're identical. And so there was a devotee who was asking me the other day, Prabhu, but you say they are the same, but Krishna is the only one who plays the flute. Then I said that is true, but Balaram also plays the flute. Yeah. If you read the pastimes in the Krishna book, you'll see in many places both Krishna and Balaram will play the flute. They play the flute, hop, skip, dance, twirl, anything they can do, they will do. But when Krishna plays, it's on another level. When he plays the flute, the whole universe gets stunned when Krishna plays. But Balaram, he plays too. So we shouldn't be confused about that. And from Balaram, the first, he expands into the 4 Chaturvyuhas, the 4 primary Narayana forms, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And from them, plenty of Narayanas expand, and they cover the entire spiritual realm with different abodes, planetary, Vaikuntha planets there. And so that how we are attracted to the Supreme Lord, we can go to any of these abodes to have relationship with the Lord. But if we exclusively want to have relationship with Krishna and Balaram, there's only one place, and that is Goloka Vrindavan. And that devotion, that kind of attraction is given by our acharyas coming in the lineage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that Braja Bhakti, the Vrindavan mood is given in that lineage and coming through Srila Prabhupada. So if we are very faithful in following Srila Prabhupada's instructions and nicely chant and not commit offenses, woe and behold, you'll be at the doorsteps of Vrindavan. You'll get the ticket, the visa, stamped and say, yep, you are in, mate. So you can get there. So we can understand like that. So from these many Narayanas, this from one of the primary Sankarshan, from him expands the second Chaturvyuha. And then in the second Chaturvyuha also expands into 4 Narayana forms, again Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And from this second Sankarshan, they come into this material universe as the expansions of Mahavishnu, and then from Mahavishnu, from his body, he expands many universes, unlimited universes, and into each of these universes he expands as Garbho Dakashaya Vishnu. The Vishnu who lies in the universal ocean, and from him sprouts the lotus flower on top of which Lord Brahma, the firstborn, the living entity in each universe, he takes birth, and then from Brahma the material planetary systems are then arranged accordingly, like that. So everyone, all of these incarnations, all these personalities, from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu also, the Shirodakashayi Vishnu, the Narayana form who comes into all the hearts of the living entities. He goes into every atom, inside the atom, outside the atom, in between the atoms. That's how everything is the way it is. Otherwise, everything will be collapsing. Yeah? Nothing can be sustained without the Supreme Lord's sustenance. He is the basis of our existence. He's also the source of all of us. We are all part and parcel. So Balaram is the source of all of us. Balaram is also the time element in this material universe. Balaram also expands as Sesha Naga. Within each planetary system you can see Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, he lies down on a bed, and that bed is Sesha Naga. And then Sesha also expands as Ananta Sesha, and he holds the entire planetary system, millions and millions of planetary systems. So just imagine, it says each universe is like a mustard seed, and he sustains them on his hood. That's fascinating. There's a lot of technical information in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and you can read about that, and then we can learn this knowledge is so vast. And as we appreciate it, we tend to understand a little bit more about the Supreme Person himself. And then we can say, wow, he's so amazing. And the most amazing thing is he wants us. We who are nothing, we who are nonsense, yet he wants us, come. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Gopakumar, when he meets Krishna, Krishna says, I've been missing you, Gopa. And then he hugs him and they both faint. Just imagine, the Supreme Lord misses us so much that he faints. So Balaram takes the role of coming to help us understand that we have an eternal relationship with Krishna in his abode, having so much fun with him. All he wants is come there and have fun. Why are you wasting time here? You foolish living entities. And so we become foolish in the purview of Maya, Durga, and so she gives us a hard time, She stomps on us, she jumps on us, and then she takes the three-pronged spear and then pierces us. The three-pronged spear is the three modes of material energy. And so we are always bewildered by the modes of material energy, not knowing what we are doing, why sometimes we are excited, sometimes we are not. Why sometimes we are sleepy and sometimes we are so fascinated. Because we are not thinking about Krishna, so the modes affect us. When we are thinking of Krishna, we are serving Krishna, then Krishna is in our hearts, like that. So in any case, all these expansions, they are the same personalities. It is Krishna. As I mentioned, the function and the role they play, it's different. All because just to attract us, right? Some of us are attracted by Lord Krishna, some are attracted by Narayana, some are attracted by Matsya, some are attracted by Kurma. When I travel in China, they are all attracted by Nrsimhadev. They like the fierce, ghastly, because he's so powerful and opulent like that. They're like, wow, I like that. God is like that, They can relate that way. So Krishna is attracting all of us in different way, in different fashion. So Balaram comes in his own way, it's so sweet in his own way. So Balaram appears as the older brother. Sometimes he appears as the younger brother, as in the pastime of Ram Leela. So in Ram Leela he was serving Lord Ram for 14 years in the forest, when they were wandering all throughout the Dandav forest and so on. 14 years. And guess what? He did not even sleep a single day. Because he was saying, I have to take care of Ram and Sita. Right? So he's teaching us how you serve your spiritual master also, in a sense. So when Kamsa, if you read in the 10th canto, when he was taking his sister Devaki, they just got married, right? All the hoo-ha and all the, you know how weddings are, right? So then they go in the chariot and all of a sudden this celestial voice says, "Oh Kamsa, you fool, the 8th child of your sister is going to kill you." And he's like, "Oh, what?" Immediately he grabs hold of his sister's hand, drags her off the chariot, and he wants to kill her, And luckily Vasudev is so expert, he talks to Kamsa, appeases him, and tells him, "Look, it's the 8th child. So why do you need to kill your sister? I promise you, I'll give you all the children. You can do what you want with them." He was buying time, actually. And so Kamsa agrees with that, and so one after another, each child that was born, they are offered to Kamsa. And at first he felt compassion and didn't want to do anything, but Narada Muni came and instigated. Now, how do you know which child is Krishna? The voice said one thing, but it could be anything. So Kamsa is like, "Yeah, you're right," and start killing every child like that. So it happened so when the 7th child was about to take birth, the Supreme Lord ordered his potency, Yogamaya. He has this special potency that can do wonderful things, Wish we had that too, no? But we can't. So anyway, he told the potency, "Look, my plenary expansion, Sesha, he's going to come and he's going to reside in Devaki. I want you to move him and then put it in Rohini's womb in Vrindavan. She's in Vrindavan now." So, so she agrees, and then in text 8, 10th canto, chapter 2, prayers by the demigods, text 8. Devakya jatare garbham seshakyam dama mamakam tat sannikrishya rohinya udare sanniveshaya. So Lord Krishna tells Yogamaya, "Within the womb of Devaki is my partial plenary expansion known as Shankarshana or Sesha. Without difficulty, transfer him into the womb of Rohini." Then he continues, "Athaham mangsabhagena devakya putratam shubhe prapsyami tvam yashodayam nandapatnyam bhavishyasi." O all auspicious Yogamaya, I shall then appear with my full 6 opulences as the son of Devaki, and you will appear as the daughter of Mother Yashoda, the queen of Maharaj Nanda. So, having given this instruction, the Yogamaya potency then went on to do that. So when Devaki was pregnant the 7th time, when Sesha was in her womb, Yogamaya potency came and took him and transferred it to Rohini. It's another wife of Vasudeva. And it is said that when that was happening, everyone thought, because the Sesha or Shankarshan was removed from Devaki, everyone thought she underwent miscarriage. So, oops, something went wrong. But they didn't know the Lord was playing, with everybody. And so he transferred, or Yogamaya transferred, and placed Sesha in the womb of Rohini. And it is said, but at that time Rohini was already pregnant. So you may say, how's that possible? Well, she was pregnant with the original Balaram. So if you heard what I said, it's a plenary expansion. So when they took this Shankarshan and then went into the womb of Rohini, they merged into one as Balaram. The same thing happens when Krishna also is transferred. Because Yashoda actually gives birth to Krishna, but when Vasudeva comes, he doesn't see that. He just sees he's covered by Yogamaya, and then he just exchanges for the female child, Yogamaya, and then brings them back like that. So then Rohini is pregnant. She was about 2-3 months pregnant at that time when this exchange happened. And then it is said that she then maintains her pregnancy for another 16 months. All right? So you may be like, oh, this is nonsense. I don't believe it. Yeah, sure, you're entitled to your opinion, but this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's in your heart as Super Soul, right? He's staying there forever. And so why can't he stay in the womb for 16 months? So we should understand like that. Yeah, it's possible. The Lord can do anything. He can do anything, Yeah. We want to do something, but we can't even do anything, Yeah. So like that, she stays there, he stays there for 16 months, and he takes birth about 7 to 8 days before Krishna takes birth. So now you can understand how they both are small kids and playing around. And once they were born, it is said by the acharyas, they grew very quickly, When they were like 6 months, they were already like 1 year or 1.5 year olds. They were walking and doing nonsense, When they were little kids, they were going around, and then they will fall into the mud pool and so on, and then when the cows walk past, they grab the cow's tail, and then the cows will run or the calves will run, and then they'll be like, doing all kinds of surfing, I guess, right? Like that. And then all the residents were enjoying such a wonderful pastime, the childhood pastime of Krishna. Like that. Right, so when the living entity wants to go back to Godhead, he has to go through the medium of Balaram, because Balaram is the person who's always serving Krishna. He knows how to serve Krishna the best. So then we have to go through the medium of Balaram, because he takes us back to the spiritual world. We have to understand that principle. And those who are helping us are actually considered to be expansions of Balaram's potency also. So which means includes spiritual authorities, the acharyas, and the spiritual master. And this is how we understand the spiritual master to be the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Balaram. He's non-different in that sense. Shakshadaridvena nasamastar sastre. It's non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's mentioned all over the scriptures like that. So this is Guru Tattva. So we have to understand this is what we are talking about. The manifestation of spiritual master is directly coming from Balaram. Right? So whenever we are trying to help someone connect with Krishna, that potency is Balaram's potency. It's not our potency. We are just acting as a biomedia. And when we sincerely do that, then Balaram's full potency is present in each and every one of us when we do it sincerely. So it doesn't matter. We don't have to be, big yogi floating in the sky. But all we have to do is go out there, preach to someone, and sincerely try to connect them with Krishna. And so immediately Balaram's tattva or potency is manifested in our hearts, giving us the Shakti. So obviously we are not at that level like Srila Prabhupada and so on, but oftentimes if we are sincere, it's manifested temporarily just to show us that we can do something. Jai Shri Shri Radha Nila Madhava Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Giridhari Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Shri Nitai Chaitanya Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Chandra Ki Jai. So Prabhupada says, he writes also, he says in the lectures, Bala hinena labhaya. Labhya. Bala hinena labhya. It's from one of the Upanishads. Where this Bala, most times people translate Bala as physical strength. But actually in the context of Balaram, it means he has spiritual strength. The spiritual strength that we want comes from Balaram. So sometimes people misunderstand that and say, Bala hinena, they think, oh, I have to be very strong so I can get my spiritual food. So they eat a lot of things, Prabhupada mentions like that. And some people try to eat meat and so on. Say, I need Bala, strength. But that's not the understanding. Just see, we will get confused if we don't have acharyas or spiritual authorities to guide us. We can make all kinds of foolish mistakes. So Prabhupada says no one can attain spiritual perfection simply by exercising, right? Or going to the, gold gym, right? Come out full of strength. So obviously Balarama also means he has Bala, strength, and Rama comes from Ramana. Ramana means loving, full of devotion. So Balarama, if you worship him, he gives you the ability, spiritual strength to do pure devotional service, loving devotional service. And Balarama also means Balarama also has a lot of strength. He does have immense strength also. That is also exhibited by his many pastimes also. So Balarama is like that. So if you look behind you, you look on top over there, on top of Srila Prabhupada, there is the portrait of the killing of the Dhenuka, the ass demon. Okay, so this is one of pastime where Balarama was involved, to a greater extent. So what had happened was the Krishna had an incident with Kaliya, so he danced on the hoods of Kaliya. So he said, oh, this is so wonderful, I think I want my older brother to enjoy something like that. No, not this pastime, actually. I'm confusing with another pastime. Anyway, the cowherd boys, they approached both Krishna and Balaram, and they said, Krishna and Balaram, there is this place, within this forest, and it's called a Talavana forest, and then there's a lot of this Talava, tal fruit, a lot of these tal fruits, and they are so sweet, Krishna, it is so wonderful, and we want to taste it, but we can't go because of this demon, this Dhenuka demon, the Asura. He's there and he won't let anyone. The background is this demon was taking care of that whole groves of these tal trees, for getting these fruits, and they make some juice, liquor, I think, for Kamsa. So, and they don't want anyone to touch it. So he was guarding that, and so anyone who goes there, he will kill them like that. And the boys were saying, Krishna, even the birds don't like to fly across this Talavan forest. So I know you can go and defeat this. Let's go. And then Krishna smiled and said, Balaram, let's go, So they came to the forest, and as soon as Balaram saw these big, huge palm trees, right? These tal fruits are like palm trees. So then he saw these fruits, and then he shook the tree so, Prabhupada says he yanked it so vigorously, and all the fruits start falling, and they made a lot of noise, so much noise, that Dhenuka who was sleeping in the forest, is like, who's that? Who came to my abode? Who's that? He got so angry, so he started to run towards the sound and charge, and then it was like earthquake, They were thinking, what is this earthquake? So when he came to the clearing where Balaram was shaking, he saw Balaram, he turned around, and with his hind foot, he smashed his hind foot into the hooves into Balaram's chest. But Balaram just stood and said, what? He wasn't even, and he's like, who's this guy, What's wrong with this donkey? And then Dhenuka was like, I'm going to get this guy. And again he turned around to kick again, but this time Balaram caught hold of the hind leg. And the next thing he says, twirled him, he twirled him so hard, within a few twirls he lost his life. Even though this demon was so powerful, even the demigods were afraid of these demons, But in a matter of seconds, in a couple of twirls, boom. And once the demon was dead, Balaram threw it on top of the palm trees, and all the donkeys went and got stuck on the palm trees. As soon as he was dead, all his associates, and they also were all like donkeys and asses. I don't know what's with these demons. They take on forms that don't make sense sometimes. But they came and they charged, and this time Krishna also got into the fight, and together they, as you can see in that beautiful painting, they got rid of all the donkeys, and when the demigods they saw colorful, like clouds that are colorful on top of the trees, and so beautiful like that. So that was the pastime of that. And it is said by who? I wrote down here that the Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he identifies Dhenukasura as to be one of our hindrances in our spiritual life, and he represents one who does not appreciate the relationship with the Supreme Lord, the sambandha. He does not appreciate, or they are ignorant about Krishna, and then the holy name. They ignore the spiritual master, and they ignore Shastras. So people who are like that are like Dhenukasuras. Yeah. And according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so many faults in all of us, right? We can pray to Krishna and say, my dear Lord Krishna, please remove these problems I have, this anartha, this problem, get rid of it from my heart. But Dhenukasura, he represents faults that we have to get rid ourselves. We have to show Krishna that we are sincere. That we want to take up the understanding of who we are, what is our relationship with Krishna. We have to take the sincere approach in studying the scriptures. We have to do it ourselves. You can't pray to Krishna and say, oh Krishna, let me study my books, Let me study your scriptures. You can't. You have to do it yourself. So therefore, to get rid of such anarthas like Dhenukasura, we have to work hard in reading and in respecting Vaishnavas, the Acharyas, and praying to Balaram to help us assist in getting rid of such difficulties we have. So that is the pastime of Dhenukasura. The other pastime that is also to do with all of us, because we have to put in the effort, is the pastime of Pralambasura. Yeah. So there's only these two demons that represent, there's something we have to do. Okay. Now Pralambasura is a demon he represents greed for position, for pratishta, worship, honor, greed for money, and he also represents lust and illicit sex. Okay, all these are very prevalent in this modern society, and mostly because of our cultural background, all of us are exposed to all this nonsense, and we think it's part of our existence. So when we come to the spiritual life in Krishna consciousness, it's so hard to give up some of these bad habits that we have cultivated over many, many years of upbringing and cultural exposure. So again, this will also, we can get rid if we understand that Balaram is there to help us. So this pastime, Pralambasura, happens when Krishna and Balaram and the cowherd boys, they're going out to herd the cows. And while they were about to go out, one of the cowherd boys, he called in sick. Yeah. and I think he put it in Facebook because the demon found out about it also. So you should be careful. Don't put all your information on Facebook. Some demon will find out. And so when Pralambasura found out, he disguised as that cowherd boy. So he comes quickly into the group of cowherd boys and said, hi, And when Krishna saw this guy, Krishna can see everything. He knows the past, present, and future. So he looked, this guy is a demon. This guy is a cowherd boy. And he said, oh, I think he's here to kill some. I have to protect my cowherd boys. I'm going to kill him. So he was thinking, well, as soon as the cowherd boy came, hey, let's play. So then they say, yeah, let's play. So when this demon, Pralambasura, came, he saw and he was attracted to Krishna. Then he said, wow, this Krishna is very powerful. I have to be very careful. So then he looked at Balaram, he said, oh, okay, I can handle him. So then they said, let's play this game, and then the loser will have to carry the victors. So then this this demon was thinking, if I were on the opposite of Krishna, then I'll be stuck with Krishna. No, I'll be with Krishna. So he joined Krishna's party. So they all went into two groups, and then Balaram has his party, Krishna has party. So they played this game, and then when they played the game, Krishna's party lost. So then Krishna said, oh, okay, we all have to carry Balaram's, all cowherd boys and Balaram. So they all started carrying. So Krishna carried Subala and so on, and the Pralambasura, he carried Balaram, like that. So while they were carrying, the demon was thinking, I will take Balaram far, far away. So they all agreed that this pastime happened in Bandiravan forest. So they were all trying to say that at the edge of Bandiravana forest, we will stop and get down, So this demon said, no, I'm going to go. So they all ran to the edge, and then as soon as they reached the edge, he just took off, like a rocket, So everyone's like, hey, what's happening? Come back. He's like, no way, I'm running. So Balaram is sitting there. Balaram wasn't paying any attention. He wasn't even thinking, Then he's thinking, where's this guy going, And then it is said that Krishna actually had Yogamaya cover Balaram, so he wasn't aware of what was happening. And then he said, oh, Balaram is gone, I better take out the Yogamaya. So he took it out. As soon as the Yogamaya left, Krishna said, this guy is a demon, what's he trying to do, what's wrong with this person, And Pralambasura was so powerful that he could carry mountains, But when he was carrying Balaram, he started feeling Balaram was getting heavier and heavier. So he couldn't handle this pressure. So then the cowherd boy form is not suited to carry so much weight. So then he came into his demon form. So his demon form was huge, it's a humongous form. He had a silver crown, and he had earrings and gold and all. And he was so big a demon. And when Balaram saw this is a demon, he's trying to kill me. So Balaram used his fist and boom, with one hard knock on the head. Guess what? The demon just died. Boom, splat, So all the cowherd boys, Krishna, hey, Balaram, you did a good job. Wonderful, they were so excited. This guy was finally killed, and so they were so excited about this outcome. So in the same way, we should approach the spiritual master and ask for their blessings, their guidance, so that we will not be greedy for a position like the demon. He wanted to take the position of a cowherd boy. He's not qualified to be a cowherd boy. Or worship, because he wanted a recognition from Kamsa that he killed Balaram and Krishna, like that. Position, honor, all those things. So by serving the spiritual master or spiritual authorities with the proper attitude, proper understanding, and doing the proper service, we can overcome this particular anartha or difficulties that are in our hearts, or misgivings in our hearts. We have so many. Don't tell me, I know all about it, because I have them too. So, but by following these instructions by Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas, we will overcome those anarthas, but we have to do it ourselves. That is what sincerity is all about. We have to try to give it up. You cannot covet it, but you have to give it up. You have to learn to understand that we don't need such attitudes and so on. So these two pastimes are very important, and we have to understand this pastime very nicely. So we have to cry. Today particularly, Balaram's appearance day, so it is said that during the appearance day they are so generous. Whatever you want, I will bless you. So you can approach Balaram. How do you approach him? You can worship him directly to Lord Nityananda, or to ask Krishna. Krishna, tell your younger brother or your older brother, like that. Or you can even look at the pictures where Balaram is over there. In the pictures, you can call out to Balaram and say, please, I sincerely say, remove the demoniac qualities in my heart. Then he will help us understand how to go about to remove it. It's not like snap of a finger and the anarthas goes away. No, we have to work at it. You can never become successful, right? I always give this example, the Olympic Games, right? All these runners and all kinds of athletes, they are there because they worked at it, day in and day out, full attention, So in the same way, if we have an anartha, we have to focus fully. How am I going to get rid of this anartha? Why is it still there? Why is it bothering me? I'm doing everything. Why? So soul searching is required, and deep understanding is very important, like that. When we appreciate that actually the source and the cause of all of our problems is we ourselves, then you own the problem, then you know how to address it. Otherwise it's very difficult. We tend to push the blame on another person. Now I was chanting so nicely, and then I saw this devotee walk and I lost attention. It's his fault. It's her fault. It's their fault. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in everything. Right? Now, in Krishna's rasa, there's there's 5 rasas, right? Right? Okay, pop quiz. What are the 5 rasas? Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. So guess what? Balaram participates in all of this. It's amazing. He participates in all of it. How? As in Santaras, he expands as the spiritual universe. The paraphernalias. If you look on the altar, you see Krishna's shoes, right? Krishna's pot or water pot, plates, his outfit. It's all Balaram's expansion. His bed, his asan, it's all Balaram. He's like, any service, I'll take care. Like we are like, any service, stage left, exit, like that. Balaram is like, I'll do it. So we learn, oh wow, he's trying so hard to please Krishna. So that's Santaras, because there's not much reciprocation there. Right? So the next one is Dasya. So in Dasya, he's always helping as a servant and so on. Like Ananta Sesh, right? Allowing him to lie on him and so on and so forth. And then in Sakya, he's like his best friend. Yeah, with the cowherd boy, so it's like a friend. But also, as a cowherd boy, he also acts in the Vatsalya as an older brother. And so sometimes he says, oh Krishna, you must be tired, please lie on my lap. And then he'll massage and rub his head like that. So that's like a affectionate, like a motherly or fatherly affection like that. Or sometimes he even massages Krishna's lotus feet, right? So therefore, massaging the devotees one another, it's a good service, Right? Shyamachandra Prabhu is expert, so if you want to learn how to do massage, ask him. Yeah, go and learn how to massage, So it's a good service to do. And then in the so Vatsalya, Madhurya, the last one, the fifth one is Madhurya. In the Madhurya Ras, he actually expands as a Manjari called Ananga Manjari, who is a sister of Radharani. And so in that mood, he serves Radha and Krishna in the pleasure groves, like that. So he takes any chance, he'll put his finger or he'll put his head in and say, I'll serve. So we should then pray to Lord Balaram and say, give us that wonderful attitude you have in wanting to serve Krishna. Give us that mood so that I can serve all the devotees. I can serve my spiritual master. I can serve the whole entire world. Give me that mood, Don't let me cheat myself, 9 out of 10 times we cheat ourselves, Anyway, there's so many other pastimes, so I will stop here because I would also like to hear from many of you, at least something, because today is Sunday, it's a half-day fast, you don't have to run anywhere unless you have something to do. No, okay, right, so maybe I'll stop here. Microphone. Yeah. You want to say something? Go, Hari. Give us something.
Well, I had a question, Prabhu.
I wanted to hear pastime.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I could say a pastime too.
All right, question pastime. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, my question was that while I pray to have more service given to me, because I would, like you were saying, as we can pray to Balaram to actually be engaged constantly in service and be inspired to take any service that comes. But it seems like sometimes I push myself too far to the extreme, and I try to take on more service than I'm capable of, and then I end up like
end up being mental.
Yeah. So can you give any advice on how to actually find that balance, at least while I'm still in a...
Yeah, sometimes we are over-enthusiastic. The question he asked was, he prays for a lot of service, and then when he gets a lot of service, he puts all his 5 fingers in different places, and it's very hard to stretch his fingers. And so he doesn't know what to do sometimes. So when we get very excited about service, we want to do everything and anything like that. But our service should go through an authority, someone who can guide us, someone who knows us better than we ourselves. And so when we say, look, I want to do this A, B, and C, they can say, you can do A and B, don't worry about C. They say, but I really want to do C. Then you can say, no, no, you're not doing C, A and B. Okay, and then you go. So that way, they will protect you from you overextending yourself. So when you too much, if you overextend yourself, then you will start hating the service. Yeah, they'll say these services are the cause of my problems. So therefore, always have someone you look up to and bounce off ideas and say, I think I want to do these things. What do you think? Since you are my ever well-wisher, you are my faithful guide and principle, so you're the light in the distance, you make me complete. So you ask them to help you, make decisions. It's like in a family, in the Grihastha ashram, the husband wants to make a bad decision, but he has to bounce it off the wife, right? And then the wife says, no way, Jose. So that's it, So that's it, then he has to follow, Otherwise he's going to have a hell. So you always have to bounce off someone. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, very, very nice class. I appreciate your time.
You want to take your mask off just so that we can hear?
Very nice class. I appreciate your time. It's invaluable. Balaram's pastimes are so amazing. I was informed that Balaram was the original first left-handed person. Is there anything to back that up?
Well, Balaram is the first left-handed person. Well, Balaram can be left and right-handed for you. Yeah, because he is ambidextrous. Yeah, because on the left hand he carries the haladar, his, what do you call that, the plow, and on the right he carries the gada, the club, you know. Sometimes he has 4 hands, so which hand are you talking about? So, yes.
Is Achinta, inconceivably, one and different.
Different, yes.
And Balaram manifests that in a very clear and conscientious way, not that we can necessarily understand it entirely, because it is inconceivable. So in Vrindavan one day, wow, his name just slipped, the translator that was there for many years.
Gopi Pranadhana?
Huh?
Gopi Pranadhana?
Yeah, Gopi Pranadhana. He described it like this. He was describing this whole thing about Krishna and Balaram and the relationship, you know, from the preamble of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he said, so we have to be clear on this, because what it is that Krishna is everything.
Jai Shri Shri Radha Nilamadhava ki jai, Shri Shri Nitai Chaitanya Chandra, Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Chandra ki jai, Shri Giri Govardhanath ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Giridhari ki jai, Iskcon Guru Vrinda ki jai.
And so Krishna is everything. Everything. Everything rests on Krishna. Krishna is everything. And Balaram, he's everything else. So both potencies are there, and then when Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu both came, they fulfilled that entire understanding. It's Achintya, Beda, Abeda, Tattva. This is simultaneously one and the same personalities. And because we have no experience, we have to surrender and accept it. Therefore, by just chanting the holy names Krishna and Ram, Hare, to connect it, the energy, we get everything of the philosophy, and therefore we can be delivered just by chanting these names, the holy names, which is Krishna, Hare, and Ram.
Jai.
Krishna, Radharani, and Balaram. They'll deliver us in Kali Yuga, just on the basis of our faith and surrender to those holy names, whether we completely understand it or not. Nobody's going to get to the bottom of the Vedas during the Kali Yuga. It is not possible.
Wow.
Ever.
Thank you so much. Hey, anyone else want to add something? Yes, Nayanamrita Prabhu.
I'm
That
going to
was
say,
nice, thank you. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I'm going to share with you one pastime.
Jai.
When you do the Brajmandal Parikrama, you come to a place called Davji. Davji is when you have an elder brother, the elder brother in Hindi or Sanskrit is called Davji. So the name of that town is Davji, and in that town they have a deity of Lord Balaram. That is the only place the Davji is same color as a Krishna. Now you were talking about protecting the brother, how brother, elder brother, he showed up his power. We see that in his different pastimes. So Balaram one day, seeing that a lot of demons were coming to kill Krishna, so he says, I am going to protect my brother. And he decided to change his color. And he became blackish just like a Krishna, and Krishna becomes whitish. So when demons come and looking for Krishna, they were going to be looking for blackish colored boy. And there was a Balaram. And that is the only place in India or in this planet Earth, the Davji is a blackish. And that is a wonderful deity there. So if you get opportunity, we should visit that. Hare Krishna.
Hey, Dauji Balarama ki jai. Huh? Only one time. Mataji wants to. No, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I know.
So
Yeah.
loud. I was in that small Odauji that Prabhu just mentioned when we were doing.
Can't hear you.
I was doing Braja,
Rajamandala.
Harikama, and we went to that town of Dauji. And I had this experience there. And I had that experience there where we took darshan and we saw him being dressed and, and then this Prabhu came, one of the pujaris says, Mataji, do you want to go and touch his feet? And my eyes just got light up and I'm like, yeah. He said, 500 rupees. So I said, what? So, and I was like, no, because something didn't feel right. And then the Mataji that was with me, she goes, go. So he took me to the back of the pujari room, and we were there, and he was calling more people. You can see these people were from Delhi. They were all dressed up with gold versus the village people that were there. And I saw the cooks cooking for him, and just when it was about time for us to enter the pujari room, I became very overwhelmed. I just couldn't. I said, no, there's something wrong. This can't be right. So I was willing to give him 1,000 rupees, but I left. I said, no. He goes, no, come, Mataji, you can go. I says, no, this is not right. If I had to pay for it, no. So then we came around again, and I went to the window where he was, and it looked, it was so auspicious because it's like his face is facing forward, and he's got this beautiful face, but it looked like the corner eye he was looking at me. So I tried to take a picture, and every time I tried to take a picture, it was weird. Those are the only pictures that did not come out clear. So I knew that I should have not gone there, but he is beautiful, beautiful color.
Nice. Thank you. Anyone else? Varshana Rani.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Just I like to add that in chapter 10, verse number 37 in Bhagavad Gita, it says, Vrushnīnām Vāsudevamscha Pandavanam Dhananjaya. So Prabhupada explained in that verse that two sons of Vasudev called Vasudev, one is a Krishna and one is a Balaram. So Krishna explained in the opulence is a Balaram also opulence and himself. Another I would like to add, like in Jagannath Rath Yatra, they said Balaram is white, but his horses are black, and Krishna is black, but his horses are white. And for Subhadra, the horses are red.
Right.
So this is just I like to add something.
Okay, nice. Okay, Sundar Gopal.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
Nice class, Prabhu. Thank you very much. One of the point you mentioned about that we have to actually work out. You said, there is no switch that can turn on or turn off, and anartha has gone. So I just want to say a reflection on that. That even the Lord, when comes, like Lord Ramchandra, Mother Sita, they take a lot of austerities. There are so many examples like that. Like Dhruva, Narad Muni, gives him the mantra and what to do instruction, but he has to severely execute it. So that's very well true that, we have to actually make an effort for that.
All right. Thank you very much. So we'll end here. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Balaram Jayanti ki jai. Gaura Brahmanandi. He does, but he doesn't show up like this.